Do you know that relationships do not always have a romantic context involved? And that many different relationships surround us in our everyday lives? According to Psychology of Love by Carrie Sternberg, for most of us, love is the most important aspect of our lives. So, of course, we think of relationships. However, a relationship does not have to foster love in order to actually be one. Relationships occur in all of our lives, no matter what stage of life you're in and what age you are. And of course, all relationships will be different. The communication that occurs within those relationships will often shape the dynamic of them. Since they occur everywhere and are impossible to avoid, it is important to know the information that surrounds them. So, throughout this speech, I will be discussing the types of relationships, the stages in which a relationship follows, and relationships in the workplace and professional setting. To begin, I will be discussing the types of relationships. According to Communication in the Real World, we can begin to classify the relationship we have by distinguishing between our personal and social lives. It is very important to remember that a personal relationship meets emotional, relational, and instrumental needs that fosters a really close and personal connection with someone. It is more of a deep connection rather than just something on the surface. A social relationship occasionally meets those needs, but are missing the closeness and the interdependence that a personal relationship has. It is also very important to know the difference between a voluntary and an involuntary relationship. A voluntarily personal relationship would be someone such as a spouse. You choose who you marry, however, you have more of a personal connection with them. So it's not voluntarily social, it's voluntarily personal because you have a deep connection. Then there's involuntarily personal. So this would be someone such as a sibling. You don't get to choose who your siblings are, however, you share a personal connection with them. Then there's voluntarily social. This would be someone such as a personal trainer or an acquaintance. You choose to have a relationship with them, however, it's not a deep personal connection. It's more of a social relationship. Then there's involuntarily social. This would be someone such as a student or a teacher. You don't get to choose who your students are or who your teachers are, but you do still share a relationship, and it's more of a social relationship because it's not a personal connection that requires more emotional commitment. According to Peter Discoli of the Journal of Economic Psychology, as highly social species, humans form a variety of distinct relationships with distinct functions. It's super important to know that every relationship is different. Every relationship will have different goals that need to be met and different outcomes, and will require different maintenance to keep that relationship strong. Simply because everyone's different and every relationship will be different. Next, it is important to remember that a relationship goes through stages. According to Communication in the Real World, initiating, experimenting, intensifying, integrating, and bonding are the first stages in which relationships start out. So no matter if this relationship is involuntarily social or voluntarily personal, a relationship will typically follow these stages, no matter if it's romantic or in a professional setting. These are the steps that a relationship will typically follow. Lastly, I will be discussing relationships in the workplace and professional setting. Relationships in the workplace can often determine whether or not someone advances throughout a company, whether or not they succeed, whether or not they enjoy their job, and their overall career. It is important to know that relationships really do make a company thrive. Without relationships, the company would not be able to achieve the goals that they have originally set for themselves. As Vince Roedick said in 2018 in the Journal of Economic Health, each member of the product line sets the others and ultimately the team up for success. So this means a relationship really does foster success in a company. That a company really, really needs to have strong relationships in order for it to thrive. In conclusion, we have talked about the types of relationships, the stages of a relationship, and relationships in the workplace and professional setting. I know for myself as a college student and my audience as well, Relationships are super important because we want to find a career that fits us and that we enjoy. Relationships are super important for that. Relationships really do foster that growth for companies, whether you work for a hospital or a school or a major corporation. Relationships do build towards success and help people achieve their goals. Thank you.